Okay, it looks like we have quite a few people who have joined. So we'll go ahead and get kicked off, and people might still come in. Hi, welcome. My name is Brittany McGee. I am our marketing director here at Kermi. I am joined today by Micah Singer, CEO. Micah.
Hey guys.
And Jeff Dillon, our technical expert.
Everyone.
These are faces you might recognize. I know we have quite a few partners, customers on the call, a few new faces, but we're really excited to have you talking about all of the latest advancements in Flow. So just a quick overview for those of you who are new to us. We are Kermi. We're a global company. We have offices here in New York, Paris, Rennes, which is in France as well, Berlin, Dubai, other associates kind of spread out all over. We support customers in 25 plus countries all around the world. So yeah, APAC, you're covered here in the US, France, Germany, UK, etc. Obviously, we're the company behind Flow. Flow is a centralized automation platform. We've started really back in the day in telephony, managing that, but we've really expanded and we now cover integrations across the entire digital workplace. Quite a few new integrations that we're excited to share today and new things to come in 2026 and beyond. Platform is built for enterprises and managed service providers. And yeah, so quick about us. But I want to talk now about kind of how we got here. Flow is a new name, obviously, but it's really more than a new name to us. It is a reflection of our evolution the past 12, 13 years, 14 years. And it is a promise to where we're going. And a lot of this is built on both market insights, what we're reading, what we're staying on top of, what we're seeing in the market, but then also what our customers and partners are telling us. It is a reflection of, those ongoing conversations, hearing about pain points, what everyone's trying to resolve. And that's where, Micah and Jeff, you both have a lot of insight in this. I would love to understand kind of from your perspectives, these are the 4 pillars that we talk about constantly. And yeah, let's dive in. So hybrid ecosystems remain the reality. Like that's a big thing still in digital workplaces. Micah, what are you hearing in the industry?
Yeah. First of all, really nice to be here with you today. Thanks so much. Again, in the attendee list, it's a lot of familiar faces and names, people who know us well, and some new ones as well, which is great. A lot of these pillars or definitions or explanations of what's going on in UC and Collab won't be a huge surprise. We hear it a lot from you, from partners, from customers who tell us that more and more hybrid. The first one here, hybrid systems are the reality, and hybrid for us, hybrid actually has a few different meanings in this context, but all of them are relevant. So on-prem and cloud systems, usually there's a migration or 2 systems or an old company doing this and a new company doing that, or geographically separated, and parts of a larger company are doing different things. Remote workers and office workers, that's very common, and usually both. Usually people are doing it depending on days of the week. And then multiple vendors is more and more common, and all of these lead to problems that we're trying to address. I'll hand off to Jeff so we can go through these one at a time. But how does this play out on the more the
kind of more
level?
More to granular level. I mean, the things that we're really seeing in hybrid spaces are just kind of what you mentioned, and it is a lot of someone's still got Call Manager today, but they're interested in moving to WebEx, and so they've kind of got a foot in both. Or they're moving from Avaya to Microsoft Teams, and they need it's getting more and more difficult to actually be able to maintain all of these various different systems across the board. And it's just how can you the kind of finding solutions to actually make sure that you can handle so many different things, be an expert on so many different things. Is just it's challenging for IT and UC teams today.
Definitely, and as the world kind of remains in the hybrid ecosystem functionality, um, integration becomes key to operational efficiency, right? Micah, do you want to elaborate?
Yeah,
on
I
how-
mean, this is this is a really big driver for us, because and it's a big change, and probably a driver for all the businesses that we work with. You know, integration. It used to be one system. A lot of historical Kermi customers would use us for maybe a single integration, manager, call manager, or something, or HCS. And that's really just exploded. And it's the integrations are key to any kind of automation that you want to deliver. So we have to touch a lot more systems, and you'll see that today, and more to come. And not only systems that we build, but systems we can't even predict. So we put tools for you to build. I mean, more integrations really lets you take advantage of what we're actually best at, which is the business logic, the software itself, flow. So I think integration, another key issue.
Yeah, it really is, and I think of a lot of those things also. We know certain partners just don't play well together, and so you really do kind of need somebody who can actually tie them together, because otherwise you're logging out, you're logging back in, you're copying information from one place to another. There's human error involved, and if you can actually have things actually be integrated, it's going to speed up make you it's right there, operational efficiency, make it so much easier for you, for the rest of your teams. Now you can actually find tools that are actually going to be able to help you with those things as well.
So alongside integration, obviously, then we have everyone's favorite buzzword, AI. AI and automation. And we definitely see those as accelerators within the market. Micah, do you care to elaborate?
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, briefly, really in two ways, two broad strokes in our business. One is the things you don't see, which are how we're using AI internally. Like a lot of companies, a lot of it's in software dev and script writing, sort of accelerations in productivity. We're starting to see that actually, which is great because, you know, XML or some of the other things can be, time consuming to construct, but AI knows how to do it really fast. The second part is what you will see in the product. So the things we've been working on, and really it's just being compatible with some of the protocols that are out there. MCP is a big one for, sort of being able to trigger things in Flow using MCP, an MCP server, which we actually have done a proof of concept on that, and hopefully it'll make it into the product 2026. And then also just as you work with the product, being able to use more natural language to say what you want to do rather than have to code it or XML it. So
Mhm.
actually do it. So some of the things we're doing in coding, we'll put in the product. We have plans to do that for sure. That will hit the product in 2026.
Yeah, and one of the things also we're specifically seeing around automation, we get requests all the time for zero touch provisioning and management. That if we can tie into outside of just your UC ecosystem, also tie into your ITSM, and really be
Mm.
able to also kind of make it like zero touch to be able to manage provision users, thinking really kind of in those terms of how you can really even make things for not just engineers or technicians be able to touch something, but anybody in your organization really being able to touch it. But then also be able to make changes for things and make sure it's actually being done right. And then the engineers can actually focus on the things they actually need to focus on, as opposed to trying to take care of operations too.
And that leaves us with our last pillar here, the last big trend that we see usually in the market here. Anything around simplicity, security, and visibility. I know we've definitely got a lot around all of security for sure, and visibility, obviously, it's a centralized platform. Micah?
Yeah. So security. Security is always lurking in the background. And I say it's usually first or second priority in the questions we get in the sales process, or at any point when people are talking about using our technology. And it's becoming a bigger issue for lots of reasons, because like AI is also an accelerator of hacking and other, there's other things it does. But so security, I would say, is the big one. Simplicity is about a better usability of the tools. You can have a piece of software that does amazing things, but if you can't use it, that's lost. So That's something that we know it's going on in general, and we're trying to simplify our own product a bit. Actually, you'll see some enhancements. We'll show some today later on, some UI enhancements, but I digress. And then visibility is about data. Is it visibility that I can see the data? No, it's probably visibility that AI can see the data. But having access to that data, reports, what it tells you about what's going on is key for controlling costs and so forth.
Yeah, just to add on with security, I think it also comes down to flexibility too. That even though, just an example with Kermi, we are security focused, right? So 27001 compliant, we're GDPR compliant, all of our data is encrypted at rest and transport. Right? But at the same time, also, if there are still those instances where somebody's going to feel more comfortable having a self-hosted environment as well, absolutely. And if that actually means that you have that ability to also have security, having flexibility too adds to all of those things for your simplicity and for your how you actually want to be able to handle things too.
Yeah. So without further ado, then Micah brings us here.
Yeah, absolutely. So for our product, for our software for many years been called Kermi Unified Provisioning, Kermi Provisioning Suite. And we're not running away from provisioning. We are experts in provisioning, and it's actually a really important task, and deprovisioning and changes and all the things that come along with provisioning. But it really, what's happening now, and this goes back to the idea that everything is integrated. And to manage the challenge of managing more and more IT softwares. I saw a stat recently of something large companies have 360 plus applications that they're managing. I mean, this is all about data has to be flowing in and flowing out. And for us, a lot of times the flow of data was provisioning was south, tell me, activate, deactivate, but it's really gone crazy. It's directories, it's ITSM systems, HR systems, there's so many, and MCP AI systems. So there's so many different flows of information coming in and out, and we're become sort of a traffic cop in the middle, making sure that your rules for governance and packages of services are properly allocated and deallocated so you can control costs and security access. So, representing this flow of information, I think you went a slide, is something that we wanted to capture in a name. This slide you're looking at now is sort of when you sort of take away the marketing speak of what I just said, which is all true, what is actually doing. And you've seen something like this in past presentations, or if you see any PowerPoints that we've put out. What's different here is one, on the top of this, the inputs or the things that actually give flow directions. There's more of them. There's actual tools that we've built to integrate to a particular service now. That's been a big one. But then there's actually things that are generic tools that allow you to integrate as you want. We've always had an API. We're upgrading it to REST API now. MCP server I'd mentioned, but we believe the future is the thing, the fitting Kermi into your IT environment. So we in that situation, we look more like middleware. That's sort of how we think about our future at Kermi internally. And then what we're between is your IT systems, but then on the bottom side is your whole sprawl of important key company necessary communication systems that can range from core UC that people use, WebEx, Zoom, via the Cisco, the top row there, to the more the systems that also need to be touched when a user is added or changed or moves locations or anything happens to them. Some of these are contact center, there's SBC, there's compliance recording, there's E911. These are all integrations we've built and they're available. More exciting maybe is the last little one, which is what we're in the process of redoing. It's going to be the Flow SDK, which will allow you to integrate systems that you want to provision. And we're trying to build it with an eye to the future, keeping it generic enough where provisioning other cloud systems, historically it's UC and communication, but but those boundaries can be pushed out a bit on your demand, basically at your will on using the technology. So there's a lot here, more to come. We're hearing from you what you like, what you don't like, and that feedback is invaluable, and we rely on it. So one of your calls to action here would be like, tell us what you want, tell us what systems aren't here, tell us how the ones we're integrating with can serve your purposes better. That's extremely valuable to us. So that's what's happened recently. You'll get to see some of this in a moment. I think do I get the next slide?
And yeah, another big thing that has kind of helped us get to where we are and informs where we're going.
So the flow of information, one flow that's really key is the one, and mostly to enterprises who are in the situation of having to move off of an old technology or wanting to move or wanting to use more than one vendor, is migration. And so that's a lot of information flowing very quickly to one place. And so about 3 months ago, we finalized an acquisition of a company called Yarn Lab that really focuses on the same kinds of customers that we do and same kind, works with the similar kinds of partners. They had been a partner of ours for many years, but we're really excited to have them in-house as part of what we're doing. And we're trying to sort of bundle it in. Yeah, migration can be a one-time event. It can be something that happens as you slowly move over time from one system to another, or it can be something that gives you the option to not be stuck with a vendor you don't want. Whatever the use is, now this is part of our Flow suite, and specifically the thing called pre-yarn, which is a discovery to sort of discover the old environment before you make a move, before you make mistakes, is called Flow Discovery. And then the Wrangler, which was the main tool for migration, is called, not surprisingly, Flow Migration. So we're excited to have these in our tool belt and in your tool belt.
Yeah, a lot of great advancements, especially accelerated, I feel like, over the last year, with the new connectors that we're about to share, as well as the new acquisition. And again, it just goes to, the name Flow it's more than a rebrand. It really does reflect everything that we are working on, and with our customers and partners is kind of that guiding North Star, giving us that feedback. And what I'm really excited about the future. I'm the marketing person. Maybe I have to say that. But
I say that.
seeing the technical things, seeing the demos, I hope everyone else kind of gets as excited about what this can do for their company and for efficiency. So taking a look really at what's new, before I didn't mention at the top of this, but if you do have a question, please go ahead and put it in the questions tab. You'll notice it on the bottom right. I know, especially as we go through demos and we talk specifically about different integrations, that's when we typically get a lot of questions. So definitely, we'll try to answer as many as we can at the end of this, but go ahead and use that questions tab to type your question. And with that, Jeff, I will hand it off to you. First up, we have our new AudioCodes connectors.
Sure. Yeah. As Micah mentioned, we've added a lot of new connectors to our systems, and it's fantastic because it really does start to make Kermi kind of the center of your UC ecosystem instead. So in this case specifically, if you need to actually, instead of having to again log out, log back into another system, you can actually do the engineering and all the management through the Kermi interface of actually creating routes, actually assigning routes as well. But we do want to just quickly kind of show you just a quick explanation of what this is going to look like and how you'd have a mixed use environment of being able to actually assign and provision a user instead, so they can actually see how this actually will work into a single workflow. See how that actually ends in there. So Brittany, if you want to go ahead and roll that, that'd be cool.
Pulling it up. Give me 1 second. Sorry.
Sure. Yeah. So we also do, in addition to just AudioCodes, we currently also support Oracle, and then we're also going to be supporting others coming down the line as well. Ribbon is also likely going to be added in soon. There's going to be additional ones as well. So for this, we basically just need to go ahead and provision a user. A lot of you have already seen this exactly the way it is. And one thing you also want to pay attention to is also the way the front page is going to change. We're going to have that as a preview later on. So we're going to go ahead and select a user who has already been created. They've been brought in by Enter ID, could be AD as well. Just want to make sure that we have a user that's already going to be in there. They don't have any services associated to them right now because they're just a brand new user. We know that they've actually been added in. We're just going to quickly go in, change their package, and we want to make it hybrid because we want to find that they're going to have a Cisco desk phone, Team soft phone. But because of that, they're likely going to have some specialized routing, which has already been set up in the background, hence through AudioCodes instead. So you can see there's your Cisco desk phones, your lines have already been assigned. There's your Microsoft portion of how things have already been assigned. And then we finally get all the way down to the bottom of the screen, a whole different vendor. Now you're on your third vendor. Now you've also already have something as simple as you didn't have to make any changes. Now you have your AudioCodes. Routing has already been taken in place. You can see now you've got actually all of your services have actually been assigned to that user. That fast and simple. You didn't have to log out and log back in. It was all in one common workflow. So kind of moving on as well, we're excited to be adding a few other things in here as well. As Brittany switches back to the presentation, we are going to be adding in, or we've already added in, for an E911 perspective, being able to manage this. And if you're like, well, we already have WebEx, why would we necessarily need an additional connector? And you're absolutely right. It's fantastic that WebEx does actually support Red Sky E911 directly. However, getting updates directly from WebEx to also make sure when you're either moving or modifying a user in some way, the Kermi connector will also, or the Flow connector, bad habit, will also be able to also help us make sure that you're also having those be able to be pushed through as well. We've added on the WebEx Contact Center. Again, kind of in the same way, the WebEx Contact Center we've already heard is absolutely a fantastic integration. Sounds like it's a great product right out of the gate. One of the things we also need to make sure of, though, is we can handle bulk management for it as well. So if that helps you as well to make sure if you're provisioning users and you don't necessarily want to have to necessarily go add them in on a one-by-one basis, the Kermi connector, again, when you're provisioning, can also help out with that as well. Similar to the WebEx Contact Center, we've added in support for Genesys, the Genesys product as well. One of the kind of use cases for this is really that you don't necessarily want to give everyone access to all of your backend systems. So one of the things you might want to do is actually consider doing this from a role-based access control perspective instead. So if you had, say, a contact center supervisor and they need to change who the agents are on a daily basis, you can actually do all of that from the Flow platform instead, and maybe a little bit easier. And I can go ahead and show you that just real quickly of what that would kind of look like. That it's perfect. So same thing, very much in the same way that we'd set up AudioCodes as well. It's gonna be very similar. Only now we're basically going to just be added. So we've got a user. We've already know that they've already been created. I happen to use Enter ID all over again. So we'll see that there's no services yet, but we're going to go ahead and modify that and make sure that they have them. We will change their package to making sure that now they are a Genesys user, Genesys agent. Their phone line is going to be assigned. Everything else just needs to be put in place, how it's going to be added. But now we're going to go through and we have some options to go through and actually change things. This is what I meant. You might want to do more so instead of just provisioning, but really from a management perspective. You'll need to make sure you can change their location if necessary, change their proficiencies, change their skills, keep those updated, and see how they're actually going to be be able to be applied instead. So it's fully configurable on the back end, but it's also easy for anyone to actually go in and do this. But if you don't necessarily want to give full access to someone who could go in and change all those skills too fully on the back end, you can limit this to only what someone would actually be able to see instead. So this will be saved here momentarily. And as you kind of get an idea though of what the level of information we're actually able to be changed. It's fully configurable as well. So if there are other things, again, now you can also be able to see that we did add in all of the additional skills and so forth and services that need to be added in there as well for that user. And finally, now we're kind of going in a little bit different direction on things. Micah, do you want to talk about the new interface first, and we'll take it back over from there?
Yeah, absolutely. Is that want to make follow you? Okay, yeah. What's next? Yeah, I'll get it to you. Let me talk you through this. So some of this is a recap. Smarter automation features are, what you're seeing is, while Jeff was showing you what it looks like when a human clicks around the interface, really a lot of the smarter automation that we're doing is about having not humans click around the interface. It's programmatic. We have internal goals, just that like 50% of the actions taken by our software will be done programmatically in 3 years from now. So that's an internal goal that we're trying to build to meet. So that's why there's a big push, and we're doing it not for fun, but because that seems to be what the market wants, and it makes sense. I mean, if you want to cut down on errors and actually realize the efficiencies of using automation software, you have to have smarter automation features. Uh, deeper and more secure integrations. I mean, so these are about building the integrations themselves. The tools for, and I mentioned that, improving our SDK dramatically to make it more generic and configurable and more in a language that, sort of normal IT people who don't have a lot of training can handle. We do have lots of users, probably people on this call among them, who are very comfortable configuring connectors now, but it takes a while. So we want to make it easier and quicker. Like we said before, migration is something that is, sort of fundamental. I mean, everyone goes through one. It used to be every 10 years or so. And you're stuck with the vendor for 10 years. And oftentimes that's not to your advantage. There's more acquisition activities. There's more all kinds of things going on that, require you to move users or to split use between different systems. So we're adding migration. We're using the Yarn Lab platform, the former Yarn Lab platform, Flow Migration. And then finally, and what we've mentioned a few times is, and this is in the vein of simplicity, we're slowly starting to refresh our interface. We haven't done it for a while. Hasn't been something that's been a priority, just because it's more what it does and not what it looks like. But what, like I said before, what it does can sometimes be impacted by how hard it is to use or move around. So we're going to give you a taste. There'll be some changes in the next version, I think, and then you'll see more
Winter
come out in
release.
2020. Winter release, and then 2026 there'll be incrementally more, probably in every release, until we've done the whole thing.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll give you a quick tour around what kind of is going to look like. It's going to be changing a little bit here instead. There we go. If you were paying really close attention before, you'll notice things look just a little bit different. So now we still have actually the most common features you're going to need at the top of the screen instead. Where things are going to actually need to be just widgets, all very easy to be able to click on. You're still going to have access to your departments. I didn't realize that Middle Earth necessarily had a great phone system, but okay, here we go. Still being able to have access to packages. Being able to have tickets actually be reported. Tickets don't mean errors. Ticket just means events. If you need to actually be able to manage your licenses directly from the front page. A lot of those things you've probably seen before, not necessarily anything new, but they're updated, making it a little bit easier to find, a little bit easier to use. Some of the things we've actually moved the search bar up to the top of the screen, as well as being able to maintain the last 5 searches you've just had in there as well. That's going to be a major functionality. Any alerts that have come up will stay there, but they're not necessarily in your way until you've acknowledged them. And then also moving from the bottom left-hand corner to the top or right-hand corner, you can actually find your information that you're looking for things like documentation. So much easier to be able to find that now. But the number one thing I think is the biggest feature for us right now is adding favorites. If you have a function you always need, you can never find that menu, you don't want to search for it, just go ahead and click it on there. Now you've actually just added users, go under favorites, now it's actually there. Makes it much, much more easy. As Micah mentioned, this is from 2 things. One, this is your feedback that led us to this. Please continue to give us feedback. And additionally, also, this is where we're also really trying to move forward and try to make sure that we can also make this we're going to continue to change this as much as to make it a better user experience for everyone involved, including us here at Kermi as well.
Yeah, it definitely looks more modern and great. I know the product team, like you were saying, they've done countless interviews, spent a lot of time doing user interviews to really wind up on the first round of updates here. And I'm, we'll continue to see what comes next after this. To kind of wrap it all up a little bit here, these are again kind of what we talk about a lot is like the value of flow. It, to me, the value is infinite, but if I were to put it into 4 categories like I have, we have, overcome sprawl, boost efficiency, enhance security, and future-proof strategy. I know Micah and Jeff, you each have feelings about these and how Flow accomplishes these. Micah, do you want to start with overcoming sprawl or?
Yeah, I'll go through them all just to,
Okay.
and then Jeff, you can come in behind. I mean, these are all things that Flow does and we're focused on that are demands on the software, or demands or things that are demands on the market. So sprawl is it's always overcome sprawl. You have lots of systems or problems or configurations, you want to centralize it in one place, but this is becoming a bigger issue as we've seen. More systems need to be managed. So sprawl is here, and it's a good thing because it means there's more technology, there's more IT, there's more automation. Efficiency, I mean, our software is about improving efficiency in general, and sprawl creates inefficiency. So automation, integration to more places is fundamentally a way to reduce errors, reduce the need for specific skills in your organization, and as an end result, make things happen quicker and more precisely. I mean, the world's becoming more insecure, so the response is enhanced security, of course, but really, and automation helps with that too. Get the right hands in the software, but fewer of them, or at the right time. Jeff mentioned sort of managing Genesys or other systems. I mean, in every system you touch, there's rights, there's governance that you want to be able to enhance, to put in place. So that's what we do, is let you sort of configure user rights and rules for governance. And then the big cloudy future, what will it bring? I mean, we know the move to cloud is happening, and all these things, but we didn't all see AI coming in the way it has come like 3 years ago, and now it's obviously making a huge impact. So one thing we hear a lot is uncertainty. As things change, will your software be ready? And really, that's been the big driver for creating generic ways to connect our system to the world, and to have it connected to the world, from APIs and MCP and all these different ways. So absolutely, we feel that our business logic, that'll always evolve, but it'll be a good gating. But these integrations and the authentication protocols around them and everything else are a way to make sure that whatever comes down the pike, you're ready and we're ready.
Yep. Micah pretty well summed it up, but really kind of think of it, the flow is just that. It's meant to be really that we're going to improve your workflow. So there you go.
There you
You're
go.
welcome, Brittany.
Brevity is the what is it?
I love it. I mean, I love it. I won't shy away from puns in our marketing. Sorry, not sorry. That's who I am. So anytime anyone else says that, or the keyword, but to wrap it all up, we would love to show you what Flow can do in your environment. Whether you're a customer who already has a system implemented, whether that's self-hosted or in the cloud, as our SaaS service, or if you're a partner looking for how we can better work together, and what do these changes mean for you and your clients. Or if you're totally new to Kermi the company and Flow the platform, we'd love to connect with you and just share more about how this can really be implemented in your environment, and how your team can leverage this, all in the name of efficiency. So we've got a QR code here to the demo request page, or you can go to kermi-software.com/request-a-demo. There, if you end up just on our homepage, there are plenty of buttons to requesting a demo or contacting us. Otherwise, now I'd like to take some questions. I think we had a few. Still time to add a couple. If you want to put it in the questions, if the chat is easier, happy to also put them into the chat. So the first one here, talking about our existing customers, it looks like we have someone asking whether or not they need to update their Kermi system because of the rebranding, or will their Kermi instance still be supported for longer? Jeff, that sounds like a you
Sounds like a
question.
Jeff question.
Sure. No, there's absolutely no reason to necessarily do this, but especially also if you're on the Kermi Cloud platform instead, the Flow platform, there's absolutely no reason because we go ahead and take care of all the upgrades for you. But yeah, no, there's no reason to necessarily change anything if everything's still been working. But honestly, if you do upgrade, you're also going to be able to take advantage of some of the new connectors and how the new advancements are also going to be coming in as well.
Yeah, definitely. And like we said, there will be a new release come winter. I'm not quite sure when in winter, but we will obviously share that information once we have it. Next question. Are there plans to expand the ServiceNow app capabilities? I believe that is now our Kermi Flow integration app. Micah, do you want to talk about this one? I know you're really involved in the ServiceNow side of things.
Yeah. I mean, ServiceNow is a vendor that is really important to so many of our partners and customers. Just in the polling we've done, over 70% of our customers use ServiceNow. We built an application which was, pretty cool a year and a half ago, and meant to be something that was usable, and it is. Some of you are using it. We've also gotten a tremendous amount of feedback about how to improve it, make it more granular, so you can. And then also at the same time, ServiceNow has not been sitting still. They've created I forget what the name of the thing is. It's basically workflows. So instead of putting a whole application in, you want to put just specific actions into their flows situation. There's also they've gone very strongly down to agentic AIs ways to, and then also another way to put in actions that trigger, basic calls to trigger things on Flow. And those are both well into development. Actually, both past proof of concept will be in the product absolutely really soon. And I think we think it's really important. We've been spending a lot more time with ServiceNow in general at their events and with partners, and because it seems like these worlds are colliding, IT and UC, and we know that you're there, so we have to be there.
Definitely. And, that's, I think a lot of 2026 and futures. And yeah, how can we continue to bridge those gaps between those big ITSMs like ServiceNow and the rest of the digital workplace as well? Last question, what additional connectors are on the roadmap for 2026 or beyond? I think this is, I know we alluded to a few when we talked about AudioCodes. Jeff had mentioned Ribbon.
Ribbon's coming.
Yeah. Which other ones, who wants to take this?
Yeah, I mean, I'll take it since it's it's not happened, so it's not technical yet. So we meet, we've, like a lot of companies, we have a product council where we sort of look at what's in demand, and and what we are finding is when you look at SBCs, compliance recording, E911, and contact center provisioning, all of these 4 types of systems are ones that we've put connectors out for, but there's other options. I mean, Red Sky and Intrado would be the other one that is used very commonly among our customers as two. So we plan on adding Intrado. SBCs, as Jeff said, we have AudioCodes. We do AudioCodes direct to the SBC. We also do AudioCodes resource management,
routing manager,
routing manager, the ARM.
Mm-hmm.
So we do both today. We do the Oracle SBC, the former Acme, and I think we do both the enterprise manager and the direct to the SBC. So Ribbon is a logical one to add, and we see, I think it's like maybe 15 to 20% of our customers use Ribbon. There's some debate around Cisco Cube, so a lot of people use it, but That's really going away with the move to cloud. So that hasn't made the cut yet, although we have some customers who are very in favor. Yeah, I mean, compliance recording, we have a magical, and we will, we haven't seen another one that's come up, but I assume there might be, that would sort of raise the level of integration. But I mean, as you can tell from what I'm saying, we're trying not to make these up in a vacuum. We're trying to make decisions based on your feedback. And with our CSM organization, which maybe some of you, probably a lot of you have talked to, and if you're a customer, you will. Or if you're just in pre-sales, you'll also be asked these questions: what's in your network? Like, what are you using? Because we use that information to make decisions based on what you're using and what use cases that we can actually help with. So.
If someone has a request for a particular integration, what's the best way of getting that to us?
I mean, definitely, it's going to be to talk to your the salesperson or the account executive you work with, or the CSM who's always trying to talk to you every couple months to gauge how things are going and what we can do. I think a lot of people also talk to our pre-sales engineers even after, like Jeff, so, it shouldn't be hard. I mean, if you're desperate, go on our website and just go to the bottom right and there's a chat, and the marketing team will be really
Then
happy
I
to
will,
pass it
yeah,
along.
my
We're
team
not that
will.
big of a company, so we value this information a lot. So however
Well,
makes sense.
We do also have a contact us form that is linked
There you
to
go.
on some of these integration pages. That is an open message field where you can write to your heart's content. Yeah, so great. Want to make sure that we keep everyone on time. I think that was our last question anyhow. So thank you again for joining us. Please be in touch. Again, regardless of how you engage with us already today, we'd love to keep that momentum and help you and your team be a little bit more efficient. Anything else? We're
That's
good?
it. Thank you. Thank
Awesome.
you, everyone.
thanks,
Okay.
everyone.
Thanks.